Your manifestation will become clear when you truly, deeply awaken and you understand this. It could be a realization that you have while watching this video, or a realization that you forgot that you already had, or something that will happen next week. But it's so important to understand this reality, and maybe even the fact that indeed we live in a simulation, but that at the end of the day, everything is mind. Just exactly like how the first Hermetic principle taught us. Are you interested and you want to make your manifestation fast and effortless? Just keep on watching. Hello everyone, my name is Neyah, and on this channel we talk everything about esotericism, manifestation, and so much more, obviously. And in today's video, I want to talk about the importance to stop blaming things outside of yourself, looking for the 3D, and interpreting manifestation as a law of attraction, but rather interpreting manifestation as a change of self, as changing deeply within, as going even more within. Now, I feel that the law of attraction in and of itself, it's not a wrong law, or was explained wrong by Abraham, for example. I think Abraham actually explains it quite correctly, but somehow, some way, it didn't work for a lot of people, because people still interpreted attraction with attracting something, obviously, with attracting something outside of yourself. So very 3D related, like grasping something and taking it, attracting it. And I feel that when we have our mind set on attracting something outside of ourselves, we still get very spotty results or inconsistent results when it comes down to manifestation at large. But then why people connected, for example, with the law of assumption and Neville Goddard afterwards, especially, and it became more mainstream. Because Neville Goddard and the way he has explained the law, because we're still talking about the same law, whether you call it attraction or assumption, but I feel that Neville and many others like him, like Florence Scovel-Shinn, went deeper in the understanding that there is no one to change but self, and went deeper in the understanding that not only you are not attracting anyone outside of you, but that your perceptions, what you hold inside your mind, collapses reality, meaning, in other words, manifest reality. And I feel that the teachings of the law of assumption and the teachings of Neville Goddard and many others that agree with him or are on the same line really aligned much more with the concept of quantum physics. Now, in a nutshell, I don't have time to explain everything about quantum mechanics and quantum physics, but essentially reality on a micro scale is observant dependent, meaning that where the observant observe, the electron collapses a wave, and this quantum wave is not material, is not 3D unless is looked at. So where the observer is expecting the electron to fall, this quantum wave, which is still a probability, actually collapses when an observation is made and becomes 3D reality. Now, I have made a webinar that you can find in my membership program, the third membership program. It's almost 4 hours long, where I explain the science behind manifestation. You just have to subscribe for 1 month. The link is down below, and you can watch that and other of my courses as well. But apart from that, you can even study quantum physics on your own. But the teaching of Neville Goddard and the law of assumptions really makes sense with the simulation theory, with the fact that perhaps indeed we are living a simulated reality that is controlled by our mind and our subconscious thoughts. However you want to see it, if you want to see it more scientifically or more esoterically and metaphysically wise, it's still the 7 Hermetic principles, which are at the basis of witchcraft and manifestation at large. I actually want to do a webinar, or at least a course, where I explain this even better, doing a history from the 7 Hermetic principles to the modern teachers as well, but I'm digressing. And what the 7 Hermetic principles are saying, I have a video dedicated to that if you don't know what I'm talking about. There is the first principle that says everything is mind. Everything that we see in reality is a projection of the mind. Or actually, Neville Goddard used to say, everything is made at the end of the day, beyond matter, is made through consciousness. Consciousness rearranged in different way. We are consciousness as well. And because everything is made of consciousness, we are God of our reality, because we have this consciousness that can create and manipulate other consciousness as well. Manipulate maybe is the wrong term, but you get what I mean. So by understanding this big introduction, we understand that every single time, and this will happen even if you are more advanced of the law, but every single time that you're thinking about manifesting something and you're thinking about this thing that you want as outside of you, you know you need to shift your mind somewhere else, and instead you need to go within. There is really most likely nothing outside of you. Everything is mind. Now, that doesn't mean that people are puppets. That doesn't mean that people don't have emotions and you should be unkind or manifest bad things for others or for the world. I don't think that. I think we should still be kind with one another, and we should hope for the best for the world and manifest love for people and things that are beneficial. But of course, I think the majority of you have good intentions. And that's just my opinion, because some people don't even think like I do. But whatever it is that you want to do, every single time that you see yourself too much trying to grasp or attract things outside of you, just stop for a minute and again, revert back in the understanding. There is really nothing outside of me. They're only thinking what I'm thinking. My world is my pushed out, meaning my world is mirroring my state of consciousness. So why am I trying to put makeup, for example, on the mirror? I need to change self. If I am observing even more things outside of myself, that's a perfect opportunity to stop and go even more within. There is no one to blame. Now, sometimes shadow work or healing work has to be done in order to get to the core of our root problems and heal them once and for all. True. But then once that is done, there is no one to blame. You don't do inner child work because you want to blame your parents. You are doing inner child work because you want to transform something within yourself. So you go within to transform the self, because at the end of the day, manifestation boils down to identification. When we transform the self, we can transform reality, because reality is made of consciousness, and we are that prime consciousness that changes consciousness. When we transform the self, the mirror has to respond to what? To our image in consciousness. So we don't manifest and attract the SP. We don't attract the money. We change our perception of reality. We change our observations, and then reality adjusts accordingly. Even Florence Scovel, who is one of my favorite teachers, has this advice for people when they are, I think it was Florence Scovel, was her, right? I think so. But anyway, sorry, I'm digressing. Whoever said it, I agree with this advice. When you want to manifest money, let's say, many times people want to manifest money, but money can be a limiting belief, because you might say, well, actually, I don't want money. I want the house. I want the villa, or I want the lifestyle, or I want the travel. Well, don't focus on money then, but focus on the feeling, the thought, the idea of having the house, or being inside the house, or having the lifestyle, or having the travel, because that is what really you want. Sorry. And instead of putting a limiting beliefs and saying, oh, I will only get the house when I have the money, for example. No, the house is already done. The house will come to me in infinite ways, because I'm God of my reality. And some way, if the way in which you get the house is through money, money will appear. So don't be limited. Change the perception of self by being unlimited. And for this purpose, sorry, I'm not feeling good with my throat. Actually, I'm feeling great. This is gonna go in a second. But I want to read a quote from Jung. And this was a psychiatrist that really struck me and inspired this video. The quote goes as the following: your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. And we can even change this quote and say, your manifestation, your imaginative act will become clear, will become manifest only when you can look into your heart. Even if you're just using robotic affirmation, still, even if you're not aware of it, there is heart and mind coordination that is being activated. You are changing something through the act of affirming, through changing your thoughts. You are changing something within yourself, we could say within your heart, that make manifestation happen. You're not manipulating the 3D, you're changing self. I want to repeat again, your imagination, your manifestation will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. Who looks outside is just a dreamer, which is not a negative thing necessarily, but it's a little bit what Neville Goddard said, daydreaming doesn't work. He didn't mean it like imaginative daydreams per se doesn't work, because I have a different video and we know that daydreaming works. But if you daydream thinking those things that I want are outside of me, you will keep dreaming because you keep hoping that those things will come to you. But when you know that your vision is inside of you, when you stop looking outside of self and you instead go within, then you awaken. Then manifestation happens because you change your identification and you're not waiting for something outside of yourself to change in order to feel happy, to feel rich, to feel abundant, or to feel loved. And when the change of self is taking in place, whether you do it through imagination, affirmation, scripting, or whatever technique, that's when reality can mirror. So stop being exhausted, stop stressing out, but rather every single time that you, and we all do this, but every single time that you catch yourself reverting back to the 3D reality and say, oh, but he did this and he made me feel in this way and I didn't have the money, and see, the tax situation is a problem and this is a problem. When you're doing this, stop. I have to still do it even nowadays, but when you're doing this, stop and say, what am I doing? What am I thinking? I know better. Let me go within. Let me go within. No, none of this thing is real. Maybe I even live in a simulation. I know the reality is based upon my observations. So what is this outside of me? He said he didn't love me? No, I heard different. I heard different. I saw different. And I'm going to stay consistent in the faith, in the assumption that my reality is based on my perception, my observation, and I did indeed saw and hear and heard differently. You understand what I'm getting at? I am going to change the self. Now, I want to leave you with another quote from the book, The Magic Path of Intuition, from Florence Scovel Shinn. It's been a while I've been quoting this book, but why not do it again for you guys? And this is the following quote. The minute you make your demand, infinite spirit knows the way of fulfillment. Like we said, you want the house, not the money. Don't be limited. Who cares about the money? Let's say that you want the lifestyle of being rich. Leave the money aside. You want the lifestyle. Focus on the lifestyle in your imagination. So don't be limited. Infinite Spirit knows the way of fulfillment in the moment that you ask. Only doubt, fear, or reasoning keeps you away for good. Live fully in the wonderful now. Go within in the now with a joyful expectance, knowing that God is the how, God is the when, God is the where. You go, God is in you, by the way. It's not outside of you. You go again within. If you entertain them or give them attention to the harmful thoughts, the army of aliens, as Florence Scovel Shinn calls them, will encamp in your consciousness. Your doubts and fears and resentments will settle down to stay, bringing a harvest of misfortune. And then she quotes the Bible and she goes in saying, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Guys, when you're manifesting, you're not wanting, you have it. You don't look outside, you don't attract anything, you don't want. When the Lord is with you and is always with you because is you don't want. Again, I'm quoting the Bible, Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Comment down below if you want to reiterate this affirmation. So I hope this concept was clear for you guys. Let me know your experiences down below. On Patreon, I do have extra videos. For example, this week I'm posting videos about the difference between therapy and coaching, when you need one or the other, or maybe both. Very interesting topics that I feel not a lot of people talk about. Comment down, or even spiritual healing and coaching, the main differences. Comment down below, subscribe to the Patreon or to my membership to have e-courses, live collective coaching, and so much more. And I'll see you very soon on this channel, so make sure to subscribe and hit the ring bell button. See you soon. Bye.